Hello, Professor. This is my code for the task one. I'll quickly run you through the code. Here I'm importing the OS module, and here I'm creating two variables to store the directory name and the parent directory path as you asked. So I'm using os.path.join to join these two for the full path. Coming to the function, I'm defining a function which takes the directory name as the input, and I am creating open like an empty list to store the results. So I have used the os.walk here to go through all the subdirectories, directories, and files in the given directory. So for each file, for it goes through all the files basically, and if the file ends with .txt extension, it gets appended to the empty list here, and the list gets returned. So I'm calling the function here by giving the full path, that is the parent directory path plus the name of the directory, that is the documents here. So for each name in the list, it gets simply printed. If I run this, as you can see here in my documents directory, there are these text files, and it is showing these text files as the result. This is my task one, and coming to task two, I'm importing the OS and regular expression module here, and as earlier I'm using the parent directory path. Coming to the function here, we need three inputs: the name of the directory we want to search, and the extension of the file we want to match, and the string value we want to match. Once again, I'm creating an empty file to store the results. So here the full path is the name of the directory we give and the parent directory path. I'm joining these two. The for loop logic is the same as the earlier one. So for it, it is once again going through all the files, and coming to this one, I'm using the split ext to match the last index of the file, basically the extension. So I'm using -1 index here, and I'm using dot lower like to match the extension, whatever the case may be. And coming to the regular expression logic here, I'm using the question mark and I. The question mark is basically any number of characters, and I ignores the case. And the string here is to match the string value entered. So if the regular expression finds a match, then it gets appended to the file list. I'm simply returning the file list here. So to in, to enter in the function, we need three inputs. I'm asking these three inputs to the user. So I'm calling the function here by using those three inputs. Here I used a variable to store the length of the list, and even the path here to store the file names.txt. I have simply used two variables to use later in the code. So if there is one or more files in the list, I'm creating a new file, new txt file here in the in this path, basically the given directory path. So here I'm simply printing the results in the format you have asked. The string here is the number of the files, that is basically the length, and here the result path is the path here for the file names.txt file. Coming to this, the here I'm simply opening this text file, and for every new match, like I mean for every new file in the list, it gets added to the file names.txt file. I have given the right permission here while opening it. And this is the logic for the if loop, and have simply used an else condition so that if there is no match for the regular expression, then it returns this statement. So if I run this, it is asking for the directory to search. I will give the documents directory and I will give the ppth extension. I'm giving the uppercase letters here and also the string. Even though I gave the uppercase letters, it still matches because I use the ignore in the regular expression match. So it is displaying the results that four matching files are found and even the path of the file names.txt. As you can see, I have these four PowerPoint files here, and the file names.txt file got created here. So if I open this, here's the result. The results got printed in the txt file. Yeah, that is my code professor for the task 2. Thank you.